Good morning, children. Let us continue with the class. Previous classes I have told you about utilization of prepared food. So once the food is prepared by the plants, it is transported to various parts of the plant to give energy. It is also used for the formation and growth of new cells. Extra food is stored in leaves, roots, stems or flowers in the form of starch. All this I have explained last class. It is the stored food which is eaten by human beings. So now you know why we eat different parts of the plants. So let us see about the different parts of the plants which is used as food. Yeah. See, look at the leaves. All these we use as food. We eat these leaves by preparing certain dishes. Now, coming to roots as vegetables. See, what is this? Beetroot, radish, carrot, turnip. All these things are root parts which are stored, which has got food in it, which is used as food. Then the stems we eat. What are the stems we eat? Sugarcane, bamboo shoots, then spring onions. Then the flowers we eat. You can see the cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli. All these are the flowers that we eat. Even I told you about the rose. Even I told you about the rose which is prepared as gulkand. We use that. Rose petals. Now you see some unusual plants. Plants like molds and mushrooms are non-green plants. Isn't it? Such non-green plants do not contain chlorophyll. So when they don't contain chlorophyll, definitely what happens? They cannot prepare their food. Therefore, they cannot make their own food. Such non-green plants depend upon dead and decaying plants and animals for their food. So actually we call them as saprophytes, which depend upon dead and decaying organisms. Some plants like protons have chlorophyll in their leaves, but they appear red. Protons, they appear red. This is because the red colored pigment hides the green chlorophyll. What is present? Though it looks red, but what is there? There is presence of chlorophyll. Because the red pigment is more than green pigment chlorophyll, the leaf looks, proton leaf looks red in color. But photosynthesis does take place in these plants because of the presence of chlorophyll. So now let us see the unusual plants. Okay, what is this? This is a mushroom. This cannot prepare its own food because there is no presence of chlorophyll in this. So they specially depend upon the dead and decaying organisms, which we call it as saprophytes. And I have told you about the bread mold. So we just take 2 or 3 slices of bread. Don't use it for 2-3 days. Just sprinkle water and keep it open. After 2-3 days, what happens? You can see this type of growth on that. This is nothing but the bread mold, like water-like structures it is. If you just leave it open, they go on expanding. You see they start reproducing and more amount of molds will be formed. So these are some unusual plants. Next. Now, energy flow in living things. So, before that children, let us see that how to test for starch and sunlight is required for photosynthesis. Let us see the video of that. So, okay, what is this? A healthy potted plant.
Alcohol, iodine solution, dropper, forceps, tripod stand with wire gauge, Bunsen burner, 2 beakers with water, watch glass, test tube. Process. Take a healthy potted plant and keep it in the sunlight sunlight for a few hours. After a few hours, pluck a green leaf from the plant. Now boil this leaf in water to kill it. After boiling in water, again boil it in alcohol. The purpose of boiling leaf in alcohol is that it dissolves greenish part, that is, chlorophyll. Then wash the leaf in cold water and place it in a watch glass. Now pour some drops of iodine solution over it. Observation: the leaf turns blue. To show that starch is present in the leaves. Materials required.
Okay, now you have seen starch is present in the leaves. What is starch? The food prepared by plants during photosynthesis, that is stored in the leaves as starch. So how do you test for starch? With the help of a iodine solution. So when you just add 1 or 2 drops of iodine solution, how it has to be done, how this photosynthesis is carried on, that you have seen in the video. And then to test for starch, you require iodine solution. So when you add iodine solution, what happens if there is presence of starch? It will turn bluish in color. If not, it will not turn, if there don't be any change in the color. Okay, now that's about the video. Now let us go for the energy flow in living things. We all need energy to do work, isn't it? For any work, if you have to do also, we require energy. The green plants utilize sun's energy to make food. Animals and human beings get energy from the plants when they eat them as food. Already I told you, the plant products like leaves, roots, stem, all these are storing food in them. So when you eat all that, what happens? You get that food energy. In this way, energy passes from the sun to plants, then to human beings, and then animals. So interdependence of plants and animals, I will show you this picture also later. Now interdependence of plants and animals. Animals and plants. Okay, good person. Yeah. So how does the energy flow from one organism to other organism? See, this is grass. We call them as producers, means they are going to prepare the food. Where is it grown? It is grown in the soil. So with the help of sunlight and with the help of water and minerals and with the help of carbon dioxide, what happens? Plants are going to prepare the food. And water is also there, everything is there. So plant is already prepared the food. Now what happens? These plants are eaten by the herbivores. Now for example here they have taken grasshopper, which is called as primary consumer. So this grasshopper directly depends on grass. Now this grasshopper is eaten by the frog. Okay. That frog is eaten by snake. So what is happening? There is a transfer of food energy from one organism to the other organism. From there it is eaten by, frog is eaten by snake, snake is eaten by hawk. So what happens? Now the hawk, it dies, it decomposes, or the droppings of this also falls in the soil. What will happen? They start decomposing. So once they start decomposing, the food energy, whatever is present in them, the minerals what is present in their body is going back again to the soil. From soil again what happens? Who is taking that? The plants will be taken. So what is happening now? There is a cycle. So this is called as a food chain, wherein the energy flows from, the food energy flows from one organism to the other organism. Yes, text. Okay. So that is how the energy is flowing from one organism to the other organism. interdependence of plants and animals. Animals and plants depend upon each other to survive in this world. Animals need food and oxygen to live. They eat plants as their food, isn't it? Animals require food as well as oxygen. So from where do they get food and oxygen? They eat plants as their food. Now, you may say that human beings or animals are eating other animals also. Even then what is happening? Those animals are also depending on plants. So animals need food and oxygen to live. They eat plants as their food. Plants give them food and oxygen, isn't it? Plants are going to provide us food as well as oxygen. Oxygen when? During photosynthesis. Plants make their food by photosynthesis and give out oxygen for animals to breathe. Plants need carbon dioxide for making their food. Animals breathe out carbon dioxide, isn't it? They take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide, which is utilized. That carbon dioxide is utilized by plants during photosynthesis. So carbon dioxide will help the plants to carry on their process of making food. This shows that they depend on each other. Is it not? Plants are depending on animals. Animals are depending on plants for their food as well as the oxygen and carbon dioxide. So this is what we call it as interdependence of plants and animals. Next. Now children, how a balance in nature is done, let us see now. Plants and animals depend on each other, but a balance should be maintained between the number of plants and animals, isn't it? They are depending on each other, but we have to maintain a balance. That means the number of plants and animals should be proportionate. If all of a sudden the number of plants increases, then the animals would not be able to get or to give enough of carbon dioxide to them for photosynthesis, isn't it? What is the idea? All of a sudden the number of plants are increasing, too much plants are there. But for them what is required? Carbon dioxide is required for photosynthesis. But the animals are very less. Then can they get carbon dioxide whatever they want? No, it's not possible. So what has to be done? In the same way, if the number of animals increase, what happens? The plants would not be able to supply enough of oxygen to them to breathe, isn't it? If animals are more, oxygen will be less. As a result, the balance of nature will get disturbed. So what happens? Either the number of plants increase or animals increase. What happens? Again there will be imbalance. So these plants and animals should be there in proper proportion. To maintain the balance in nature, we must protect plants and animals. Both the plants and animals have to be protected to maintain a balance. The government has established wildlife sanctuaries to protect the wild animals. Here, hunting and killing of wild animals is banned. So there are wildlife sanctuaries wherein the animals are reserved. They are kept there for without being hunting or anything. Nobody can use that because they are under the control of the government and they are left free in their own ecosystem. So government has launched programs like Vana Mahotsav. Under this program, new tree saplings are planted. Now people are aware of the harm caused due to the cutting of trees. So cutting of trees will lead to deforestation, which leads to global warming. So all that has to be controlled. For that reason, what has happened? Government itself has made it mandatory to do Vana Mahotsav. What is Vana Mahotsav? Planting of new saplings, trees, so that the number of plants will go on increasing. Then, so you too can be an environmentalist. 5th of June is celebrated as World Environment Day. You can contribute by planting a sapling in your school, garden or at home. So you can also adopt a tree. So which is already done in our school, or every 5th of June is celebrated as World Environment Day. You can see one or two images of that here. See. So it's a Vana Mahotsava festival celebrated at New Balwin Public School. So you can see a plant here. The sapling is put into the soil here. Then there was a procession celebration wherein the chairman of the school has distributed so many plants to the public so that they can also grow more and more plants in their houses. So this is a celebration of Vana Mahotsava at school. So here you can see children also planting the saplings. So like this children, you should have that habit of cultivating more and more plants in your house also or garden. This will help us in maintaining a balance in nature. So let me stop it here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you.